Yeah. Okay, welcome to the Asheville City Council meeting. We're now live. If you could take a moment to silence your cell phones. If you want to sign up to speak at tonight's meeting, you can, if you haven't already, you can step into the hall and sign up and it will populate on the screen in front of us. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great. We have one proclamation tonight, and this is regarding Sister Cities Month. If you're here for this proclamation, please meet me down here at the lectern. Whereas a national sister city movement emerged in 1956 when U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower convened a White House conference on citizen diplomacy. And whereas Sister Cities International helps to further understanding through long-term relationships that enable citizens of paired communities to become directly involved in unique and rewarding exchanges and projects that benefit everyone involved. And whereas since 1990, with its official beginning in 1992, Asheville has established relationships with 7 international sister cities. Thus, we celebrate 32 years of promoting citizen diplomacy between Asheville and our sister cities around the world to further the message of peace and understanding between individuals and communities through the foundation of friendship. Whereas Asheville's sister cities continues to send and receive delegates and students from our sister cities around the world, has raised and distributed funds for charitable efforts both here in Asheville and abroad, and highlights the cultures of our sister cities by hosting events, including our Robert Burns Supper, which is Dunkeld and Vernon, Greek Independence Day, Carpanese, Bastille Day, Saumur, and Day of the Dead, Valladolid, and San Cristobal de las Casas. Celebrations. And whereas, in wake of the devastation inflicted upon our city by Hurricane Helene, citizens and officials from each of our sister cities reached out to express their condolences, and several have raised and sent us funds that we have been able to distribute to worthy local charitable causes, demonstrating how the sister city model of citizen-to-citizen diplomacy fosters better understanding among us and a more compassionate world for all of us. Whereas Asheville Sister Cities will endeavor to build upon these bridges of compassion and continue to provide our Asheville community with engaging educational and cultural events throughout the coming year, highlighting our various sister city relationships, including exploring exciting new opportunities such as a writer-in-residence program, as well as partnering on pollinator projects with several of our sister cities. Now therefore I, Esther Manheimer, Mayor of the City of Asheville, do hereby proclaim October 2025 as Sister Cities Month in Asheville and commend its observance to all citizens.
Thank you, Mayor. And I just wanted to say a few words that we are very appreciative that the Mayor gave us a letter that we brought with us to Scotland in our last delegation visit that we presented to Fiona Ritchie, who has donated her archives from her NPR radio show, The Thistle and Shamrock, to the University of North Carolina, Asheville's Roots Music Collection. So we're establishing more connections through education, through cultural exchange, through humanitarian work. And we have another, Jessica Cofield was just in Japan about a month ago and wants to give a quick update.
Very briefly, thank you. I had the honor of representing Asheville Sister Cities in Japan, September 15th through 18th, where I was able to gather with 140 other countries from around the world, representing 1,800 partnerships from around the world with city-to-city diplomacy. So thank you for Asheville Sister Cities and for the City Council and this community for supporting international relationships.
Okay, council, next we have the adoption of our consent agenda. Do I have questions, comments, or a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second?
Okay. We have a motion and a second. We do not have anyone signed up to speak. Any other?
I just wanted to highlight, I attended the Continuum of Care meeting this week where we heard that instead of every single night this winter wondering if the weather was bad enough for people to be able to go inside to shelter, our community is working really hard in partnerships to provide winter shelter every night this winter. And that's not possible without partners like the names that we see on this list: Transformation Village, Salvation Army, A Hope, Safe Shelter specifically, and their fiscal sponsor, Trinity United Methodist. I did have a question about this that maybe we could follow up with later, but usually during Code Purple, if we reach freezing temperatures, or last year we experimented with if it got to 40 degrees or there was inclement weather, that the shelters would have extended hours, and we would provide transit for ways for people to get to the shelter. Are we then providing transit access if you're going to shelter throughout the winter?
That question was asked during the COC meeting, and the answer was yes, that we're continuing to provide that transportation. That's what I heard them
Great,
say.
thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
And I think that's a great item to highlight. And as Emily Ball, who is one of the city staff that staffs the COC, said that this enhancement in the winter shelter program is really one of the things that's coming out of the COC. And so yet another great reason to have a COC so that you can do more for the community around the issues of homelessness.
I also like to add that, yes, that is awesome. I know the social workers at the psychiatric hospital have been asking Code Purple to be year-round and not have an arbitrary 32 degrees or 40 degrees, because the patients and the people, they're still cold. And I also would like to highlight item I, our commitment to recreation, to sports, and to our soccer community here. And then I would also like to highlight item B, which is funding Homeward Bound and their community outreach program. So lots of awesome things on this agenda.
Thank you. Okay, council, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we have one item under the manager's report, and that is the capital quarterly update.
And
Always
as-
very exciting to have Walter Ear here. I know Deborah's
I know
excited.
he's gonna tell us a story, you know he's gonna do that. Thank you, Walter, and thank you all, council, and for those in the audience and I hope watching on television. This is our opportunity to kind of do a deeper dive than we did at your policy, finance, and infrastructure meeting to provide you all with an update on where we are in terms of our capital projects. This kind of evolved as a result of, we would bring items to council to the agenda, and you all would be like, where did this come from? When did this happen? Where did this come from? And so we are trying to do a better job of keeping you all informed about these key projects and initiatives. And I will turn it over to Walter Ear, who is serving as our interim director of capital management department. So go ahead, take it away.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council, and staff. My name is Walter Ear. I'm the interim director of the capital management department, and tonight we're going to talk about the quarterly update for FY26 for capital projects. For key takeaways, first I'd like to frame this in the framework of a future Asheville that is stronger, safer, and more connected. We're going to try this. We can always go back to the traditional transportation facilities parks grouping, but I'm going to pitch that tonight. We appreciate the patience of you, council members, community members, and staff. It takes time to build intentionally, to build stronger. To build a stronger community requires both time and temporary disruption to ensure meaningful and lasting improvements. And lastly, recovery is underway. It takes time, and the federal processes take time to ensure that cost recovery happens, that we prioritize that cost recovery, and make sure that recovery is sustainable for the city. The outline for tonight's update will take a few moments to discuss and appreciate some completed projects, discuss the steady state and capital and bond program, do a deep dive into a few projects, and then talk about the infrastructure recovery program. I ask that you hold questions to the end of the section. I would like to finish the section and get done on time so that Maggie doesn't have me carted off for going over. So I once heard someone recently talk about and give her a speech about recovery. And she said, recovery is not just about rebuilding what was damaged, it's about creating a stronger, safer, and more connected Asheville for our future. And that was our very own Deborah Campbell.
Nice touch.
At the risk of being a bit Pollyanna, and this is the reason I wanted to bring it up, was that I felt like it's a good framework to also put our capital projects into, to view our capital and recovery programs in a way that is future forward. So let's appreciate some of the capital projects that are in the books. The top left is we are now safer as a community because we made investments in the Rankin and Wall Street garages. We did critical repairs and preventive maintenance, so they'll now last much longer. We're stronger as a community because we have watertight facilities that city staff can operate out of, and we're stronger as a community for investing in our community assets for in this example, Burton Street playgrounds and sport courts. I'm glad to see these projects are now complete. Move on to projects that are in progress for our steady state capital and bond programs. Again, we're stronger as a community when we invest in our community assets in projects that increase the quality of life, economic impact, and organizational health of our community. Each one of these projects that are shown in the slide, these are total project numbers. You may hear construction numbers here and there, but this is the total project for design, construction, and any other costs incurred by the city. Each one of these links to the project pages for anybody who can see the slides and views these at home. We're safer as a community when we invest in public safety, transportation safety, structural integrity, and infrastructure resilience projects. And of course, we're more connected when we invest in mobility, accessibility, new transportation, infrastructure, and placemaking projects. For a deep dive into one of our capital projects, the Nasty Branch Greenway is a 3/4 mile greenway from McDowell Street to Depot Street. Staff did extensive work and engagement with the community to ensure that we included interpretive signage as part of the project that features the rich history and cultural legacy of the South Side community. We were able to leverage local funds to get additional federal funds to make our dollars go further, and we anticipate that design will be complete by the end of the year, and construction will start early next year or mid next year, with the duration being about 18 months. For a deeper dive into one of our bond projects, the Oakley Civic Complex Phase 1, or more colloquially known as New Fire Station 9, will be a 2.5 bay fire station to replace the existing station at the Oakley Complex. It will be a LEED certified facility, which will also include solar power producing array, which will be then followed by the renovation of the vacated spaces for a police substation. Design has kicked off internally with staff. We'll do design and engagement with the community through fall of next year. Again, it's construction we expect to start in early 27, and again, about a 1.5 year project to construct. For context, on the left here, you'll see where that fire station is, and then on the right, this is the existing station that'll, again, be renovated. We focus on downtown because we understand and recognize the strain that might have and the disruption on normal daily business activities in downtown. And we're focused on ensuring that those projects are coordinated and we do what we can to accommodate downtown businesses within the availability within those scopes. To highlight a couple of projects, the Lexington Ave project, that again has had design kickoff internally with staff, and then we'll have some engagement with the community later this year. There will be a second phase of garage repair projects to the Civic Center and Biltmore garages next year, and then college and patent improvements. I just want to note that we did receive a bid for that project. I had to go 2 times around to get to be able to open that. It did come in over budget, and so we're evaluating that project to ensure that we can award a project that can be implemented. So that is the question break here. Any questions about steady state capital and bond projects?
2 questions. The downtown signals,
Yes.
does that include the signal outside of the transit center? Because I've been hearing that it's supposed to be timed with buses leaving the station, but that hasn't been working.
Okay. I don't know that one in particular. The first downtown signal that's going to be replaced is going to be on Flint and Haywood, close to the Civic Center. But we can get a prioritized list for you, and then find out where that one sits. But that one's mostly the
So this is kind of a robust, with a handful of signals are all getting replaced in one process?
Right. So
Okay.
it's resource constrained, and it takes a long time to get those. So the Flint and Haywood signal has actually been ordered, and we just have to wait to get it. So
Okay.
I think that pole by itself costs a lot of money.
Yeah, okay.
But we can get the answer for you on that specific signal at Cox Ave for
Cool.
the downtown
Thanks.
buses.
Is that like 3 signals, 10 signals?
It is, at this time, 1 signal.
Oh, 1 signal
we're
for
trying- yeah, they are expensive.
$900,000.
Right. But they were designed
Is
all
it
at one.
broken?
They were designed all at one time, and then we will, as we get funding, apply it to get them replaced. And this is a safety project. To
So is there more
replace
to it
aging.
than that? Like what?
Does it do like automation with EMS or something like that? Or is it just replacing a signal?
So traffic preemption lights are signal specific, and again, we can follow up with you on exactly what they
Okay.
will do.
I'm getting in the weeds, I'll get out.
I was wondering if the signals are underneath the dashboard for the city. The dashboard's really helpful. I love a dashboard. If anyone's not familiar, you can look up Asheville dashboards bond and choose which bond program, whether it's transportation, parks, or building. But there is a bond traffic signals on here, and it says it's complete.
I will get back to you on that.
Okay.
That's
The
interesting.
dashboard.
The dashboard is, it's a good summary page. We're working on the data quality on that. You can also, anybody who's listening can go to ashevillennc.gov/projects. And there's a link to the dashboard. I appreciate you mentioning it. There's a link to the dashboard there. But I will look into that one specifically to
Okay.
ensure.
Thanks.
My other question was, what's the timeline for college patent?
We have to get awarded first. So, but I don't know how long that's expected to take. I'll
Okay.
find out.
Yeah, look forward to that. Thanks.
All right. Without any further ado, I'll move on to our infrastructure recovery projects. I know that y'all in this room have heard this before, but we're going to go over it again for anybody playing the home game. So infrastructure recovery is defined by the federal funding sources. There are multiple, and it's a alphabet soup of federal acronyms, if
Oh,
you will.
that's what that is.
Yeah, that's-
Okay, I thought it was
So-
rice. soup. I was like, why
Alphabet
is
soup.
that?
Cute.
Yeah.
Got it.
As well, the city's priority on maximizing cost recovery within those federal requirements, again, to make it sustainable for the city. To go over those federal funding sources, they are FEMA PA, which is the public assistance program that covers the base repair cost with some smaller amount of mitigation in the affected zones. FEMA HMGP, which is the hazard mitigation grant program, and that is a higher level of mitigation that provides resilience for infrastructure for future disasters. The HUD CDBG-DR Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery, which is community investments for affected areas related to the disaster. For more information on this, folks can click on either that first link, which is a link to the Asheville Covers page, and then the second link is a YouTube recording of the Policy, Finance, and Infrastructure update given by Jay Dundas, Assistant City Manager. Again, infrastructure recovery, the process, we broke it up into smaller projects and then larger FEMA projects. The larger projects cover a wider geographical area. They need integrated and coordinated designs, and they will use multiple layered funding sources. We expect the French Broad River Parks Recovery Project, Azalea Parks and Infrastructure Project, and North Fork Water Treatment Facility projects to all use some combination of FEMA PA, HMGP, and CDBG-DR layered funding sources. The mini golf course and other public works projects, bridges, stormwater landslides, we expect most of those to be, or all of those to be PA funded. And then we're taking those with a design it twice approach. So this is part of the reason it takes a while, is that we have to ensure that we understand the base cost, so we can then have a discussion with FEMA about what is it, what would it take to just put it back as it was with code improvements. If we were to build it today, we need to ensure things are accessible to ADA standards or out of the floodplain to meet those code requirements. And then we can begin talking about, with FEMA, improvements and mitigation. There is some mitigation funds in the PA funds, and then layering those other funding sources. Moving on to the riverfront recovery project specifically, design has started. There is no site plan for muni golf course in this slide, but French Broad River recovery, the design has kicked off internally, and we intend to start doing some community engagement later this fall. The Azalea project will be right on its heels. And a couple of smaller repair projects, the 8 River Arts Place and Biltmore Village lighting projects designs have started. We expect the roof replacement of the Thomas Wolfe Auditorium to begin later in November. And there are a number of right-of-way infrastructure projects, guardrails that have started, and we expect a design solicitation to be out, advertised for citywide structures, again, bridges, landslides, and stormwater repairs. We've done some water intrusion and property repair assessments, engineering assessments on City Hall and a couple fire stations, and those will result in some designs and construction projects as well.
Did you say that the roof replacement on Thomas Wolfe is going to start in January?
We expect that to start in November.
November? As in
Yeah.
like next
In
week?
a couple weeks, yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
It's a priority to get on that. It is actively leaking, and they have shows, and that's not a good mix.
That one was under insurance.
Part of that is insurance, and then part of that is PA.
Okay.
Moving on to HMGP as a deep dive. This is the last slide in this section. HMGP, most folks will be maybe more familiar with it from the private property acquisition side. There is also a public projects infrastructure side. City staff work with our recovery consultant, Haggerty, to put together 8 project applications. If fully implemented and awarded, it would result in $415 million worth of potential mitigation improvements. Again, I would like to extend our gratitude to city departments and our recovery consultant, Haggerty. It took a lot of work to get those on a very tight timeline. But they're in and being reviewed right now by NCEM, the North Carolina Emergency Management Division. They're reviewing it, and they'll provide feedback to us in November. We'll take that feedback, review it, incorporate it back into our applications, submit it back to NCEM so that they can submit to FEMA, and then we wait. That review process is long. We have heard that it could take up to 2 years to get information back, and well, not information back, but approvals for those.
This has been the subject of a recent Washington Post article, and I've actually gone with staff to Emergency Management Raleigh to talk about the HMGP program and the issues. It's a complex program. I don't pretend to understand it, but the getting the funding through once everything's approved and completing it, it does seem like, don't everyone hold your breath.
Right.
But but we're gonna work really hard to keep pushing it, because the money has been allocated.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the issue. It's just the kind of the red tape, if you will.
Right. There's,
And
go ahead.
There's something called the FEMA Act that is in play right now at the federal level, which would shift some of HMGP to more of a block grant style as a,
And that would be going forward. I don't think it affects ours, does it?
yeah, I'm just bringing it up for advocacy because this stinks, this approach that this could take years and years for us to just have certainty on some critical projects really leaves a lot to be desired. So I think
As
anyone
well as
who's,
individuals who are
absolutely,
holding out for
absolutely.
grants.
So I think anyone who advocates federally, advocating for the FEMA Act is something really important right now to shift this up so that future folks don't have to go through the pain we're bracing ourselves for.
Walter looks
No? It's great.
determined
Yeah,
nonetheless.
appreciate it. Good discussion. Get myself back. Let's see. So there's actually an asterisk here that's doing a lot of work. So there's two multiple critical facilities projects grouped in there, and one of them is a critical facilities wind loads and multi-hazard structural upfit. So critical facilities require a Category 4 structural requirement, think thicker steel beams and hurricane-rated windows. More importantly to council and potentially the community, I think, is we have a secondary power critical facilities project application that went in, and that will include traditional generators, but as well 12 city-owned critical facilities to include solar and power storage as their primary, secondary power source. If included, if fully implemented, that would include buildings such as the Harris Cherokee Arena, municipal building, and multiple fire stations and other critical facilities. So there's a lot of opportunity with this. We understand, again, with that 2-year time frame, we're working to design projects so that they can appropriately sequence those funding, that funding coming in. To wrap up, again, I hope it was helpful to talk about our capital projects in the framework of a forward, future-focused framework of stronger, safer, and more connected. Again, we appreciate our community members and council for your patience. It does take time to build intentionally, to build stronger, to build a stronger community. It takes time and some temporary disruption in order to build a meaningful and lasting improvement. And lastly, recovery projects are underway. The federal processes take time, and to ensure that we can recover those costs and make this sustainable, we appreciate the patience of the community to ensure that this is a sustainable recovery. Last plug here for the AshevilleNC.gov/projects page. Go find that dashboard.
I do have a couple questions,
Please.
actually. One of the things that's coming up for me is remembering the 6,200 people that participated in the survey around the community development block grants. I know we're going to be talking about that more in a minute. But I'm hoping to knit your work here with our food policy plan. So I just pulled up the numbers to remind myself that in addition to infrastructure and housing and economic recovery, our neighbors named food security at 77% of a highest priority. And so when I see the park recovery, it makes me wonder, I know we're using our existing plans, but I just want to confirm that we're knitting together our food action plan with our parks plan. Especially, like, I can't forget that SNAP isn't funded after this week. So is that part of our capital projects, and are there ways that you're seeking to integrate our existing plans?
Yes.
I know it's a lot. There's so much, right?
So
And we're
excited,
human,
can hold back.
and that's why I'm bubbling it up to be like,
I'll quote Deborah again. Yes.
I'm not forgetting.
And Ms. Ronnie, that is why we had Jade in the PFI. We're looking at all kinds of things and trying to integrate them appropriately. So, yes, ma'am, we are using a lot of different inputs.
It's just hard when you see a
determine
park and
action.
it's just like dust and it looks like Mars. And it's like, but I remember service berries there. And I remember people telling each other where to get food that was in season. And I don't want to forget that future forward thinking.
I see what you're saying. Yes, yes.
Thank you.
The one bucket of funding that wasn't on your slide that I think we can't lose sight of is the EDA money. I know that we've got 2 applications in under EDA and it's fairly narrow, but they're really exciting if they were to happen. Again, I know it's still an open question, but again, another giant bucket of money that's been funded and hopefully will make its way to all the states that are eligible for it, including us. So
Added to the soup.
added to the, yes, added to the soup.
So if there aren't any additional questions, this will conclude the manager's report. Thank you,
Thank you.
Walter. We appreciate
you.
it. Thank you all for your attention.
Come on.
Come on.
Aye.
Go ahead.
Are y'all supposed to announce the next agenda item, or?
Oh,
Yes,
okay, we're not, I'm sorry. That's me. Sorry.
Public
James,
hearings.
Why are you here? Okay, here for public hearing, item A.
Goodness
Do we want to
gracious.
do real quick the motions to continue items B and C? I need a motion to
So moved.
continue item B to January 27th.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Did you get it?
I also moved to,
Wait, so hold on. It was 6 to 1. Okay. Who was that? Nay? Nay? Okay, sorry, the voice was, I thought it was over here. All
also,
right, so the next is to move item C to November 18th.
So moved.
second.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, now we're ready for item A, which is a public hearing to consider a resolution amending the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Annual Action Plan to, 1, raise the maximum grant amount for the State of North Carolina Reconstruction and Rehabilitation of Owner-Occupied Housing Program, 2, decrease the minimum project award under the Housing and Economic Security Support Services Program, and 3, to correct a citation under the Affordable Multifamily Housing Program. James Shelton is here to talk about this.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. City Manager Campbell. It's good to see y'all again. James Shelton, Community Development Division Manager in the Community and Economic Development Department. Back in April, this council approved, and in May, HUD approved our Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery CDBG-DR Action Plan. When I was here in April, I let y'all know that I would be back with amendments, that this plan can and will change as new information comes to light and as we need to adapt. So here I am about 6 months later with our first amendments. So the plan can be amended. At the last council meeting, this council authorized us to enter into an agreement with the state of North Carolina's Renew NC Rehabilitation and Reconstruction Housing Program. We are seeking to amend our action plan to align with the state's maximum grant amount by increasing that maximum amount from $375,000 to $450,000. We are also, for the forthcoming Housing and Economic Security Support Services Program, which we've yet to launch, we are seeking to lower the minimum project award for that program to $250,000 from $500,000 to widen the pool of eligible organizations with financial capacity to deliver requested services. We're also going to correct a citation in the action plan that's not technically a substantial amendment. I'll talk more about what that means here in a minute, but we just want to, as we're making that change, we're just rolling that into this package as well. Our citizen participation plan requires that we hold a public hearing, that's why I'm here tonight, on any substantial amendments to the action plan, and staff are requesting City Council to authorize these amendments to the action plan. So as I mentioned, the action plan can be amended. There are 2 categories of amendments. The first is non-substantial amendments, and these are when we allocate or reallocate funds within the monetary cap of $5 million that's established in the action plan. So if we were to move funding from one program to another, $5 million or less, it does not require us to go to a public comment period or public hearing. We can do that internally with, of course, public communication about it, but not a public comment period. Any non-technical corrections or clarifications that don't impact program implementation, that's what that last one is, just making a clarification to a citation in the Code of Federal Regulations, as well as administrative updates like reporting adjustments, adjustments to reporting procedures or minor program modifications. Now, substantial amendments, that's what the first two items are on the agenda, on the public hearing tonight, are changes in program benefit or eligibility criteria, including the expansion of eligible beneficiaries. That's what's triggered the public hearing and our citizen participation plan with these amendments, is we are changing the benefit and eligibility criteria by raising and lowering those two maximums and minimums. That's what's triggered the substantial amendment process. That process is also triggered by the addition or removal of any activity impacting the overall scope of recovery efforts. So if I were here tonight proposing a new program that's not currently in the action plan, that would be a substantial amendment. Or if we were proposing to cancel or end a program, that would also be a substantial amendment. As well as any allocation or reallocation of funds exceeding that monetary threshold above $5 million would trigger the substantial amendment process. So the process is, it does trigger our citizen participation plan, which is a 30-day public comment period, which is currently underway right now from October 10th through November 9th. Any comments can be submitted online at our recovery webpage or emailed at the address there. Come by, see us at the 5th floor here at City Hall, or send us good old paper mail at that address. We also have a public hearing, which is why we're here tonight, to hear public comment. And we also seek council approval as well. So let's talk about the first change, which is raising the maximum to the North Carolina Renew NC program. All Asheville residents, public service announcement, can go to renewnc.org and submit an application to get their Helene damaged home repaired or fully rebuilt under that program. We've allocated $3 million to that program, and we are currently in the process of executing that agreement with the state right now. For hard construction costs, the state is administering that on our behalf and covering all the admin costs, which is really a great deal for us. The funding limit per home was set at $50,000 for rehabilitation and $375,000 for reconstruction. The state has amended their maximum for reconstruction to $450,000 per home to reflect the true cost of construction, which includes mitigation activities like elevation, raising the home up, or slope stabilization. That's led to some increased cost estimates. So we're seeking to align our action plan with the updated maximum award amount of $450,000 to allow for full benefit to Asheville residents. The second change is to our public services program. That's the Housing and Economic Security Support Services program, where we've allocated $2 million to that program. The minimum project award right now is set at $500,000, and we're seeking to lower the minimum project award to $250,000 to have a wider pool of eligible projects that meet a critical community need that may not need $500,000 to implement. This is a citation that I think Councilwoman Turner was kind enough to read at the HCD committee last week in its entirety, but I'm not gonna do that. But this just corrects a citation of the Code of Federal Regulations to make sure we're in line with those things for our multifamily program. That does not qualify as a substantial amendment to the action plan, but we mention it here for full transparency as part of this amendment package. And speaking of the HCD committee, they voted 3-0 to approve these amendments at their regular meeting last week on the 21st. The next steps with council approval tonight and at the end of our public comment period, again, that goes through November 10th. We're still receiving comments tonight and through November 10th through all these methods. We will then collect all those comments, respond to them, and once that closes, submit our amended plan to HUD for approval, and we'll publish that amended action plan to our webpage, inclusive of all the comments received. And just as an FYI, amending our action plan and submitting it to HUD is a qualifying factor to actually bring our HUD staff out of whatever status they're in right now during the shutdown. So we can actually get HUD response to this once we do that, if they're still shut down on November 10th. So again,
what do you mean if? Anyway, sorry. I mean, I kind of think they will be. But anyway, whatever. Let's just plan accordingly.
So again, our two takeaways are our action plan can be amended. We're seeking to raise the maximum under the home repair program from $375,000 to $450,000, reducing the minimum for our housing and economic security support services program down to $250,000 to give us more opportunity to select worthy projects that may not need $500,000. We're correcting a citation, which is not substantial, but we're here tonight just as full transparency. And our citizen participation plan requires that we hold a public hearing on these substantial amendments, and we're requesting council authorization. And there's a suggested motion. I did take out the
Thank you.
CFR reference, since it's not substantial.
I was
You
taking
don't
sips
have to read
just
that.
to prepare.
Thank y'all. Be happy for any questions.
I have a process question. When I look at the website, it says that we're taking public November 6th for this.
I may have my dates mixed up.
It says during the 30-day public comment period from October 7th to November 6th, comments may be submitted. So it seems strange to me that we're voting on it tonight, but people can still submit comments?
Yes. So we're having the public hearing during the middle of the comment period, getting council authority to submit the changes, and we're still going to receive public comment through the entire public comment period. But I believe that's needs to get corrected, because what our public comment period does go through the 9th.
The 9th, but not the 6th.
Okay.
Thank you for that. I'll make sure we get that corrected.
Oh, you're saying public comment, but do you mean like a comment period?
A
as
comment
in,
period,
yeah, like in the federal rule making sense, a comment period?
Mhm.
Okay, so we can vote on it tonight, but a comment period remains open.
Correct.
Any other questions?
Oh, you're getting ready to make, okay.
Yep.
Please.
I move to authorize the city manager to submit amendments to the CD.
Oh, sorry. I will open the public hearing and I will close the public hearing. Nobody signed up to speak.
I move to authorize the city manager to submit amendments to the CDBG DR action plan to, one, reflect an increase to the maximum beneficiary amount under the State of North Carolina Reconstruction and Rehabilitation of Owner-Occupied Housing Program from $375,000 to $450,000. And two, to reflect a decrease to the minimum project award under the Housing and Economic Security Support Services Program from $500,000 to $250,000.
Second.
Take it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you
Thank you,
very much.
James. Last time this year.
Okay, council, the next item is an unfinished business item, second reading of ordinance number 5181, ordinance amending section 10-88 noise regulations regarding increasing the event days of a level 3 sound exceedance permit from 30 to 50 event days for a pilot program period with a sunset date of December 31st, 2026. We're not taking additional comment because we already did that on this item. Do I have a motion, council?
I move to adopt an ordinance amending section 10-88 2C of the noise ordinance regarding type 3 sound exceedance permit for performance centers to increase the maximum number of sound exceedance events from 30 to 50 as a pilot program with an established sunset date of December 31st, 2026.
All right, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second?
Okay. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I know we talked about this in the agenda briefing, but we are using the plural in the name of this as if there was more than one location. And I know we've been getting some public input on whether or not this will apply to other large music facilities in the community if they were to move forward, but both the fact that it's time-bound and can we confirm that it's specifically for the downtown business district?
We did
It's an update.
receive a clarification in one of those emails where you have to click on the couple links.
Follow up.
And it does say that it is downtown and it will apply, it can apply in a commercial district, but it has to be a, what is the name of the business? It has to be a.
I just wanted staff to have a chance to say it.
Mark Matheny's here to give us this clarification.
Good evening, Mark Matheny, Development Services Director. Glad to answer any questions. And first of all, I just want to say on Thursday, there was a little bit of confusion that occurred. And that's a good lesson as to the fact that there's no such thing as multitasking. Because while I was trying to multitask, I was trying to solve the question and also do something else off the side. So to be clear, what we're talking about is a level 3 sound exceedance, right? So that's the only venue, and that's a large venue that classifies as a level 3, just because of the amount of effort and work
And
into
Can
there.
you remind us of the name in our code of what type of venue it is? It's
Performance.
Level 3
It's
venue.
in the menu, it's in the memo. Do you remember the name of it, Ben?
The Performance Center.
It has to
Yes,
be a
it has to be
permitted
performance
performance
center.
center.
Right, starts out, has to be performance center, has to be a level 3 performance center. Level 3 is the only one that talks about these numbers, right? These conversation numbers. The one that currently is standard is 30, and on the floor we're looking at the 50. So where that applies is the CBD, and it also applies in commercial districts, right? And so while we're learning about so while we're learning about multitasking, we're also
Hey,
learning about
Mark, before
planning.
you get too many people alarmed,
Yes.
the only performance, what are they called?
Performance Center.
Performance
Performance
center
venue,
that
yeah.
exists in Asheville is right now down in the CBD. So if this were to apply to another venue, it would have to get permitted within the next year and be either in the CBD or in a commercial district.
Yeah, the only one that's at a level 3 is downtown, right, in
And,
the CBD.
and we're talking about forget a change to the noise ordinance today. If we didn't change the noise ordinance and it was 30 events, a performance venue could do 30 events in a commercial district right now under our code.
That's correct.
So it's fairly narrowly tailored because of the way that you have to get a performance center established, licensed, or permitted, and then also do the bookings. You would be probably challenged for anybody else to ever use this in the next.
Yeah, for the
Next year.
pilot program, basically within a year plus a month maybe, it would be challenging to have a fully operational level 3 performance venue
wouldn't even make
within
it
that
through
period of
permitting.
time.
Yeah.
Even though you guys are fast.
Just wouldn't. Anyways.
And for anyone who's just joining this conversation for the first time, this is our second vote on it. I had previously requested an amendment to not increase it from 30 to 50, but to 30 to 35, and I still won't be able to support it tonight.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, and we have that clarity. Thank you. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Oh, sorry.
I do have a thought.
Patience, you
'cause
can pull your,
After you raised a question about raising it to just 35, did anybody talk to the gentleman to see how many he could realistically do within a year?
To the yards folks? You mean Mr. Rangel?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I imagine
Did
he
you?
spoke.
The gentleman being me or the gentleman being
No,
the
no, no,
owner?
Mr. Wood.
The owner.
Yes, no, we did not have that conversation.
Kim,
Also,
did you
we
reach
have
out
to
to
vote
him
on
to ask?
I don't have any new information today.
Okay. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed, please raise your hand.
Councilwoman Rooney, I just need to double check that you raised your hand in opposition, is that correct?
That is correct. So once again, for accessibility, that's 4-3, right?
Yes, it is 4-3.
Thank you. Okay, so that is our unfinished business, and now I'm going to turn it over to the vice mayor for our new business. And we have all of our papers.
Okay. In advance of this meeting, the clerk's office asks each council member to provide feedback on their preferred candidates for each of the 4 recovery boards. The council has structured the membership of each board to be no more than 11 members, and up to 7 are from existing chairs, vice chairs, or their designees of current boards and commissions. Therefore, the following appointments are at-large members along with the chairs, vice chairs, or their designees. Up first is the Economy Super Board. Can I get a motion for,
Yeah. You want to just say the names in the motion?
She also,
Or do you want me to just say moved? So moved. Go ahead.
well, yeah, let me go ahead and say what
Yeah,
you say.
go ahead.
Cheryl Antonzik Suisse, Katie Cornell, Amy Kelly, Alexandria, Monique Ravenel, Jeffrey Burrows as the at-large appointments, and vice chairs or designees, Scott Adams, Eva Michelle Spicer, Ann Keller, John Ellis, Pat Capes, and Capus, thank you, and Jessica Thomason.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any in opposition? Motion passes unanimously for the Economy Healing Recovery Board. Up next is the Housing Helene Recovery Board. We have Joshua Martin Rudow, Matt Allen, David Bartholomew, Brian Methvin, Lucas Ray, Andy Barnett, Robin Rains, Elise Martyr, and Reb Hayslip, who've passed the requisite number of selections from the board. At this time, we'll need to vote on 2 to make up the final 11 of that board. Each member will be asked to choose between Alvarez Abernathy, Rebecca Chaplin, or Yvette Jives. What we'll do is we'll go down.
Do we need 2 motions for this first group?
Well, what we're going to do is each council member will say 2 that he or she wants. Maggie will tabulate,
Okay.
and we'll have 2 from there, and then at which time we'll do a full motion if that's okay.
Got it.
We can start with you, Bo.
Alvarez Abernathy.
And you get one
2.
more.
Oh,
Between Chaplin or Jives.
let me look at my list.
Do you need a moment while I
We can
start at
come
this
back.
end and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Kim, would you like to start?
Yvette Jives and Rebecca Chaplin.
So we're gonna start back over.
Yeah, we're going to start this in.
Mm-hmm.
Alvarez, Abernathy, Yvette, Jives.
For me, it's Alvarez, Abernathy, and Yvette Jives.
Abernathy and Chaplin.
Chaplin and Jives.
Chaplin and Jives.
Abernathy and Chaplin.
I lost track.
Meg's got it.
Mr. Abernathy received 4 votes, Ms. Chaplin 5, and Yvette Jives 5. So it would be
Chaplin,
Rebecca Chaplin
Jives.
and Yvette Jives as your other 2 members on the housing board.
Okay.
So the motion is for Rudow, Allen,
So-
Bartholomew.
You want me, can I? read
Yeah,
it?
I'm sorry.
Okay, so the motion would then be for Joshua Rudow, Matt Allen, David Bartholomew, Brian Methvin, Lucas Ray, Rebecca Chaplin, Yvette Jives, Andy Barnett, Robin Rains, Elise Martyr, and Rez Hayblett. Can I get a Hayslip? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? Say no. The motion passes unanimously. Up next for the Infrastructure Recovery Board, we have the threshold met by David Nutter, Shavonda Harper, Michael Holcomb, John Balkin, Kate, I'm sorry,
Joe.
I didn't hear you.
Joe Balkin.
I'm sorry.
I'm just talking out
Joe.
loud, just to disregard me.
Thank you. Kate Ankaya, John Pierce, Kenny Armstrong, Charlie Hinegard, Tim Orman, and AJ Hardy. We'll need to pick one from amongst the following: Martin Benson, David Rogers, Jason Sickle, Cade Justad Sandberg, or Patty Torno. Councilman Hess, we'll start with you for one selection, please.
Marty Benson.
Marty Benson.
Benton.
David Rogers.
David Rogers.
David Rogers.
Patty Torno.
Uh-oh.
Tie.
We have a tie, we'll vote again for Marty Benson and David Rogers.
Okay, we'll start with you, Councilmember.
Give me 2 seconds.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
I'm ready.
Wait, did you say Rogers and Torno?
Or no, Benson.
No,
and
Benson and Rogers.
It's really just my vote that needs to change, so I'll move it to Marty Benson.
Can we go all the way down again, please?
Sure,
Yep.
Marty Benson.
Rogers?
Rogers.
Rogers.
Benson.
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 Marty Benson is your,
Okay. Can I get a motion for the full board to include Marty Benson, David George Nutter, Shavonda Harper, Michael Holcomb, Joe Balkin, Kate Nkaya, John Pierce, Kenny Armstrong, Charlie Huguenard, Tim Orman, and A.J. Hardy. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The motion passes unanimously. Up next, for the People and Environment Super Board, can I get a motion for Daryl Diane Burris, Leah Ferguson, Anna Alsobrook, David Jeremy Greenson, Daniel Leroy, Renee Daniel Treese, Alma Atkins, Jack Engelman, Elizabeth Likas, Christy Holbert, and Karen McNeil.
Kim, so moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The motion passes unanimously. Up next, we'll go to our October 28th, 2025 appointments for our regular advisory boards. For the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee, there were no applications, and the clerk's office will re-advertise. For the African American Heritage Commission, there is one vacancy. The vice chair recommends Osundu McPeters or Christopher Gordon for the appointment. We'll start at one end of the dais, and each council member will select one of the two. We'll start with you, Councilman Hess. We sure can. We'll start with you, Councilmember Roney, if that's okay.
Asanda McPeters.
McPeters?
McPeters,
McPeters.
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 Hard choice.
that would be the appointment to the African American
Yes.
Heritage Commission.
do I need to do a full vote or is no motion?
I don't think so.
Okay. Up next, for the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board, there is one vacancy, and staff and the chair recommend reappointing Chapel Carter. Is there a motion to approve, Mr. Carter?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next is the Asheville Buncombe Riverfront Commission. There are two vacancies. Staff and chair recommend Daniel McClendon for the artist position. And there were no applications received for the Housing Authority seat, so the clerk's office will re-advertise. Is there a motion to appoint Daniel McClendon?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Bo, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. The clerk's office will re-advertise for the other seat. Up next is the Audit Committee. No applications were received by the deadline, and as a result, the clerk's office will re-advertise. The Board of Adjustment. There are two vacancies, which must be city residents. The staff and chair recommend moving James Warnall from an alternate member seat to a regular seat to fill the vacancy left by Chris Fundanish. They also recommend re-advertising for the other regular seat. Is there a motion to move Mr. Warnall from the alternate member seat to the regular seat?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Favor.
Please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes unanimously, and the other seat will be re-advertised. Next up is the Design Review Committee, and there are 5 vacancies. The Downtown Commission recommends Stu Helm to replace Robin Raines as the downtown appointee. The Design Review Committee Chair and Liaison recommend appointing Jeremy Goldstein and Gabriel A. Delerme to fill the 2 at-large seat vacancies. And the Riverfront Board Chair and Vice Chair recommend Joe Balkin and Eddie Dewey to fill the Riverfront designated seat. Is there a motion to approve Stu Helm, Robin Raines, Jeremy Goldstein, Gabriel Delerme, Joe Balkin, and Eddie Dewey?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Up next for the Downtown Commission, there is 1 vacancy. The chair recommends Eli Cunningham for appointment. Is there a motion to approve Mr. Cunningham?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Once again, the motion passes unanimously. The Human Relations Commission has 3 vacancies. The chair recommends Ms. Babette Kilgore-Mays and David A. Logan. Is there a motion to approve Ms. Mays and Mr. Logan?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes unanimously. We have 1 other seat, and the chair recommended David Jeffrey Evans, but I believe there's another request from
I'm
another member.
prepared to move to appoint Michael Patrick Bigley to the at-large seat for Human Relations Commission.
So what we will do then is to go one by one, and each council member will state who he or she wants. So beginning with you, Councilwoman Roney, Michael Bigley?
Michael Patrick Bigley.
Michael Bigley.
Bigley?
Bigley.
Langley Elman for me.
Langley Elman.
I'm sorry.
Langley Elman for me. Another from the list.
Oh, sorry, Langley,
Elman, Ellmman,
okay.
or Mann.
Langley Elman.
Bigley.
Okay, I apologize, I've got 8 here. Can we?
It's
do-
Bigley.
It's
It's
Bigley.
Bigley.
Yeah,
5-2.
5-2.
Yeah.
It is Michael Bigley.
Okay.
I voted out of order, Maggie, just to keep you on your toes.
And you did.
Yeah.
Because you can vote for yourself, can't you?
I
I
don't know.
think-
I
Can she vote for herself?
Can I
She
vote
can.
for myself for MSD?
Yeah. Up next is the Metropolitan Sewerage District Board. The mayor is interested and eligible for reappointment. Is there a motion to appoint Mayor Manheimer to MSD?
Do we need to interview? I
think
move.
so. Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. The Multimodal Transportation Commission, there are 2 vacancies. The board recommends Joshua Jones for appointment to the at-large seat and Micah McLean for the Greenway seat. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. The Neighborhood Advisory Committee. We received an email from the chair who has provided no recommendations. The chair acknowledges that the pause in meetings has led to a limited application pool that is not representative of all neighborhoods and has suggested that we re-advertise. Up next is the Noise Advisory Board. There is 1 vacancy. The chair recommends Dr. Vivian Wursel for appointment. Is there a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Up next is the Planning and Zoning Board. This is going to be a 2-step process. Is council in agreement with interviewing for this seat?
Yes.
Okay, at this time, we'll have each council member go one by one and indicate which applicants he or she wishes to interview.
So
You're holding it prior.
all of them at one time.
Right,
Great.
so,
So get ready, Maggie. We'll do it
just-
slowly.
I'm just gonna say one.
Are you gonna be choosing from the recommendations or
No.
from the?
They could go
Could be
hog
wild
wild,
cards.
could be
Right.
anybody.
It could
You
be
could
from
do
both.
one,
From
you could do
recommendations.
one.
It could be
you
for
can do
you,
six.
Maggie.
We're just gonna,
I think mine are from the recommendations, but.
Mine are from the
Okay, if you can just say the last name, because I don't have the other list in front of me.
okay.
Okay, but tell us when you're ready.
I'm ready when you guys are. No,
She's not really ready.
now I'm ready when you guys are.
Okay.
Are you ready, Bo, to start?
Oh,
If not, I
yes.
can, okay, go ahead.
Mr. Jonathan Enzalito, Michael Spiciel, Seth Armstrong Connolly, and Randall Barnett.
Councilwoman.
Okay.
Bowman?
Antoinette, should I just say new people?
No, say,
Okay, great.
if you want the people that he's already said. then
Yeah, just say it again. Okay.
Mhm.
Jonathan Anzolito, Randall Barnett, Lindsay Brugel, and Julio Dwyer.
Okay.
Angelito,
Okay,
Barnett,
okay,
Special,
okay,
Brugel,
okay.
that's it.
Okay, me. I have Special, Brougel, however you say that, Broughel.
Okay, is that Lindsay?
Yes.
Okay,
And, thank you, I have last
Brugel,
names.
Bro. I
And
don't know.
O'Dwyer.
okay,
I'm just doing Michael Special.
okay.
I'm gonna go with the chair recommendation, Angelito, Barnett, and Special.
Okay.
Seth Connolly, Michael Especial, and Randall Barnett.
What was your second one again? I'm sorry.
Michael Especial,
Okay. All right, well then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You will interview 6.
On November 18th?
Prior
Okay.
to the council meeting or closed session.
Good work. Okay.
Okay. Up next is the Soil Erosion and Stormwater Control Board. There are 2 vacancies, but there has been a recommendation that appointments to this board be put on hold until such time as needed. Up next is the Sustainability Advisory Committee. There are 4 vacancies. The staff chair and vice chair recommend Margaret Chandler, Sophie Loeb, Michael McLean, and Sarah Rose Toohey for appointment. Is there a motion?
So moved.
second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. And oh, happy day, finally. The Urban Forestry Commission, 3 vacancies. The chair and vice chair recommend appointing Don Chavez, Michael David Fisher, and Ed Macy. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Great work,
Mayor, I hand it back
Maggie.
over to you.
Yeah. Nice job, Vice Mayor.
Maggie B., thank you.
All right, council, that
Great.
concludes the printed agenda. We have a few people signed up to
awesome.
speak under, wait, am I misspeaking? There's not a thing. Okay. We have a few people signed up to speak under general public comment. Folks, you'll get 3 minutes. Please watch the lights on the lectern. The first person signed up to speak is Nina Tovesh.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, staff. I'd just like to congratulate you all for completing the process of designating recovery board members. And I look forward with great interest to seeing how this new structure works for the city and for the benefit of all of our community. I think it's a really interesting and exciting opportunity that you have to work for the greater good here, and I hope that it goes better than anyone expects. The only thing I'd like to add to that is that if there's some way that those of us who participated in the realignment working group can be of service to the city to help coordinate, to provide support, that you'll let us know. But I'm excited about the future of this structure, and I wish everyone involved all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Jonathan Wainscott.
Hey, my name's Jonathan Wainscott. I missed you guys too. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
So happy belated birthday to Miss Mosley. Early birthday to Sage Turner, which happens to be my dad's birthday on October 30th.
Hey.
And November birthday to Kim Maroney. And if I am not here before the end of the year, thank you, Deborah Campbell, for all of your service and serving with such honor and grace. So I just want to touch on a few things that were mentioned in the last meeting concerning our social district, which I guess is dead in the water. But two things. One, this sort of notion that a robust economy here in Asheville, that's sort of, a rising tide lifts all boats, hasn't shown to be the case here in Asheville, given the fact that the Black community has had sort of a flatline population growth since 1980 and a declining growth since the year 2000 in a city that's experienced one of the most remarkable revitalizations of any city in the country. So those numbers just don't show up. A rising tide is not going to lift a boat that's had holes shot in the bottom of it. So just, to be aware of that. And also the statement about how this community could be still affected by something, a policy that was made 70 years ago. I'll do you one better, and I'll demonstrate how close we are to 125 years ago, 1900. That's the year that the literacy test for voting was passed here in North Carolina. It was designed to disenfranchise not just the Black community, but the imported Negro. They were still talking about slavery in 1900, which is only 35 years after the Civil War. So for people who think that this was something that ended such a long time ago, it really didn't end that long ago. The literacy test passed in 1900 was deemed unconstitutional in 1949. So almost 50 years, this is the law of the land. And then it was nullified by the 1965 Voting Rights Act, another 16 years of waiting for the Black community. And then it still persisted until 1969. United States versus Gaston County, North Carolina. And the decision that their practice of using the literacy test was deemed to be, unfit, unconstitutional, and that was kind of the death knell of the literacy test. That decision was made June 2nd, 1969, just 5 months before Antoinette Mosley was born. You could say that you were alive at the time when an emancipation mitigation law was still in effect. So, considering that the 1965 Voting Rights Act is under the gun these days, we could very easily be rolled back to 1900 just like that. So history is important in all of these matters, and I would implore you to understand that when making policy. It's nice to see you all.
Thank you. Anthony Mejia.
Haidel Amaya Sanchez was taken outside the Buncombe County Courthouse last August. He was abducted by federal agents in an unmarked vehicle outside of this building. Attempts for abduction continue. How many times have I spoken to all of you? How many times have I told you? With no shame. My parents were illegal immigrants. They came here under a broken, devastating system. They fought their way through it. They earned their residency because of my military service, and now none of that matters. When we talk about our legacy neighborhoods here, we talk about our Black communities that haven't been prospering. We talk about the recovery from Hurricane Helene. We are still floundering. We are still acting and pretending like this system that we know is failing as the people above us take our rights, deny us our privileges, take our people from our neighborhoods. We are still here, pretending, acting like ordinances, like these meetings will stop an angry, armed federal agent from ripping my parents away from my household. And I'm tired. The work isn't done here. The work is done every moment outside of here where I don't know what you're doing. I know what I'm doing. I'm talking to people, asking what they need. I am working every day to ensure that they're taken care of. I am looking at the shining capital on the hill of the government, the people in power that have the ability, the voice to say something, even when you think you don't. When you tell me you're so limited by your own limitations, by your office, by your position, I know the power of a radical leader bristling at the edges, saying this is not enough and I will use my position to do more even if it costs me my safety, my liberty, my family, because it is mine. Nothing will change here today, I know. But I'm warning you that the work is continuing and that when they finally come, because they will, the only people I will care about is my family and my community and the people who are there with me.
Thank you.
Please decide where you're going to be.
Thank you. Council, we don't have anyone else to sign up to speak. After this, we have only one council meeting in November. Maggie's going to remind me of the date, November 18th. And that's it. And that's Deborah's last official meeting.
What?
That's right. That's right.
What are we gonna do?
It'll be her last official council meeting. Not her last meeting.
We're gonna make it a long one, that's what we're gonna do.
Just so you have something to always remember. All right, council, we are adjourned. Thank you.